And how do you think citizens and regular people who don't have political influence, do they have any power to change this situation?
It's very hard to say because I think in our particular case, we really failed on our education system. We had a chance decades ago to rethink the education system. We, in practice, not in practice, in theory, we say it's a learner-centered, it's open and inclusive and participatory. And yet we still, if you read through the textbooks, and if you look at those texts and tests, they're still memory-based. We still prepare our future graduates only for the final baccalaureate tests. And we really fail to develop high-level cognitive skills in our learners, which is why, as a result, we have a generation or generations of adults who have not been able to make themselves vocal, on one hand. On the other hand, if you look at the past decade, with country having struggled, a heavy migration, heavy brain drain, heavy migration phenomena, with thousands of kids having left behind, children who 10, 15 years ago were left behind by their parents because their parents simply had no choice, but they had to leave and earn their money elsewhere. Those are broken adults. Those are adults, not only they don't know how to contribute to the society and community they live in, they don't know who they are. They don't know whether they are loved, whether they are needed, where they are valued. And this is the biggest tragedy, I think. So we were on one way kind of building something, but we were completely tearing apart so many other things in the society there, which is why we ended up being in one of the top countries in the world with population decline. And experts say that in, let's say, 25, 30, or maybe 50 years old, we may not be hearing about Moldova as a country we used to know before. So honestly speaking, with all this lack of preconditions, good education, teaching or education system that empowers the individual, with lack of parents behind the kids, with local public administration authorities who have struggled. Moldova has been facing a very bumpy decentralization reform for years. It has never happened. So you still have mayors who are heavily dependent on the central government, on the finances, on the financial side. So they don't have the basic means to generate or to put in place income generating activities in those communities. How can you, as a mayor, promise that you will create that enabling environment and bring your voice, come to consultation meetings, because if you share, we will put it in practice? There is no way. People have completely lost their trust because whatever promises were made, there were no means to put in practice the implementation of those promises. And why? Because of the vicious cycle. It's just a vicious, continuous cycle of lack of finances, lack of proper planning, lack of desire to decentralize, lack of proper education. So all this have led to what we have today.